Hey everyone. I am welcome everyone to the Savvy Sales Lady Live. I am testing out a new streaming platform and it's not exactly going as planned. So bear with me as I make some adjustments here. The reason why I changed, am trying new platforms is because I've used StreamYard in the past. All of a sudden, they increased their prices, doubled it in some cases. And I was trying other live streaming platforms to see if I can change. And this platform I'm on right now is called Riverside, but it is limited. So I'm not really sure if you saw that intro or not. I'm not really sure what you saw in the beginning. So bear with me as I make this adjustment on this platform. If you have any comments, please put the comments in the comment box. I think I have one. Oh, this is so weird. So I don't like learning new things as I'm doing live, right? But today's broadcast, what we're going to talk about is moving beyond the unaware avoidance. Now, I call it the unaware avoidance because sometimes we just don't know what it is that's keeping us from doing what we know we have to do. And I want to start by telling you about this young sales rep that I'm working with. His name is Max. Well, I'm calling him Max for the sake of this broadcast. And Max started in a new sales role. He's in his mid 20s. And he was doing fine until he was told that he had to get on the phone call and get on the phone and make cold calls. So you're probably thinking, well, how did he survive not getting on the phone until now? Well, honestly, I don't know. When his sales manager called me and asked me if I would take Max on and help him get over this hurdle, um, he said that he had an adverse effect to using the phone and he didn't know why. Max wasn't opening up with him. Now, everyone, I'm not a therapist, but I've worked with enough people in the past to know that there are certain patterns of behaviors that, I can see a mile away. And in talking to Max in the first session, he wasn't completely opening up to me, which honestly is normal when a sales manager sends me a sales rep to work with. You have to build up that trust and rapport just like you do on a cold call. Well, our second session, he opened up more and he started telling me what was really, really going on with him. And I had told him that I didn't know if I could help him. I told him that I didn't know if he would be able to open up to me, but I asked him if he would try, and he said yes, he would try. So over the course of 2 sessions, he started to open up more and more to me. And what I'm about to share with you is a pretty traumatic experience that he had. And Max experienced some real abuse when he was growing up. And one day in school, they were taught how to call 911 in case they needed help and in case they there wasn't anyone around and they were at home and they needed help and to call 911. So they were teaching that in school. And Max, being a 9-year-old little boy, tried it out. He called 911. I'm not sure how his stepfather found out about this, but his stepfather found out about it and he beat Max. Ever since then, Max had this phobia of calling people and talking on the phone. He just avoided it like a plague. Well, as he told me, he knew this was going to cause him problems as an adult in the business world. And he was trying to get over it, and he was really committed to getting over it. I suggested to him that he needed to see a therapist, that I can only do so much as a sales coach, and that really what he needed was to talk to a therapist. He said he would do that. So, knowing his background now, I knew that the phone was going to be a trigger for him. So we needed to separate what happened to him as a child. We needed to separate that from him using the phone as a grown man. All right. We all think that once we become an adult, we should have it all figured out. But I'm here to tell you, even at my age, I don't have it all figured out. We won't never have it all figured out. What we do is we learn how to live with it, and we learn how to not, when we see the triggers, we learn how to move away from those emotional wounds from the past. I cannot heal Max from his emotional pain. Only a therapist can do that. All I can do is help him paint a better, positive picture by using the phone than he has had in the past. In a certain way, I can almost relate to Max because as a kid growing up, no, I did not have the abuse and the trauma he had, but I was so painfully shy as a kid because of a sibling always teasing me and poking fun at me. And, anytime that I made a mistake, it became a joke that my sibling would make such a big deal about. So in a way, I understood in a small way what Max was going through. And as a result, I never talked on the phone. I am in high school, and I avoided the phone like a plague because I was so shy and because I was afraid my sibling would hear me talk on the phone and make fun of me. Now, once I went to college, got married, moved out, I no longer had that in my life. I no longer had that sibling always trying to tear me down and make fun of me. So I was able to move beyond it once I became an adult. All right. Max didn't have that. His situation was a little different, but I could almost relate to him because I too was afraid of talking on the phone. So anyone that struggles with shyness knows what I'm talking about. So one of the things that I talked to Max about is unaware avoidance. And even though he knew that the problem stemmed in his childhood, he wasn't completely aware that that's why he was avoiding the phone. So after we dug down into it, we were able to make a lot of progress. And this week, Max had a breakthrough. And he booked his first appointment through a cold call. He did. I was so proud of him. That one little success propelled him into making another call. Breakthroughs can happen, everyone. And, it took an enormous amount of courage and bravery for Max to be so determined he was not going to let his past hold him back. And he didn't. And he texted me earlier today and he said, I'm doing what you said. I'm adding one more call each day. So now here it is Thursday. He told me he made 4 cold calls today and he survived. So he's getting better and better. And that's what you have to do. You have to break it down into bite-sized, manageable pieces. All right. So let's go. Let me get my cheat sheet up here and let's go over some of the things that you need to do, just practical strategies that require awareness and intention. Okay. So the first thing you have to do is recognize your patterns. We all have patterns of behavior. We all do. So you need to reflect back on areas of avoidance in your life or work. Usually, as Max discovered too and admitted to, if you're avoiding one area of your life like work, there's probably other areas in your life like your personal life that you're avoiding some things as well. So are there tasks that you're avoiding? Is it difficult conversations you're avoiding? Or is it goals that you constantly push aside? This is another common pattern of behavior is for salespeople not to make it a big deal if they don't make their monthly sales goal. And they tell themselves this lie, well, I'll make it up next month. No, you won't. Rarely have I seen salespeople make it up the next month. What happens is it snowballs. So now they have to meet an even bigger goal in month 2. And if they don't meet it in month 2, they have to make it even a bigger goal in month 3. And so then what happens is that weight of the goal just kind of cascades all over you and you get stuck. So look at that. What are you constantly pushing aside to not do? What is that? So then you want to identify the root cause. Is it a fear of failure? Is it a fear of rejection? Are you avoiding something because you're afraid of not succeeding? Are you avoiding something because you think you're just not good at it? So why try? Are you avoiding something because you don't want to draw attention to yourself? So I worked with a lady, this goes back maybe 9 years ago, who never wanted to speak in front of people. Yet she had to get up and do presentations in front of clients. And she had a very difficult time because the attention was all on her. It wasn't about speaking. It was about having the attention, all eyes focused on her. So she had a very difficult time with attention. And it all stemmed back to being told constantly as a child, you are, what is that saying? You're not to be seen or heard. In other words, just stay in the background and be quiet. That's what the message she got all the time growing up. So now, as a woman who is required to do presentations, that's the tape that runs through her mind. She is not to be seen or heard. And she broke through, but it took us a while to get her to break through, but she did it. All right, so is another problem that you're overwhelmed? Are the tasks or issues way too big, making them feel unmanageable? You know the old saying, or maybe you don't. Maybe this is new to you. You eat the elephant one bite at a time. In other words, if you have a big goal that you have to achieve, break it down. I break my goals down to everything I need to do daily so that I do the goals. I do what I need to do daily. I actually check them off in my planner here. I actually put them in my planner, check them off. And that way, at the end of the year, which is upcoming fast, I have achieved those goals. My biggest goal that I wanted to achieve this year was my cold calling masterclass. And I gave myself a hard deadline because I've been working on this cold calling masterclass for 2 years. I mean, I stretched it out way longer than it should have been. So I made a hard deadline and I got it done. And that was November 15th. And I got it done. And I've gotten some really good reviews on the cold calling masterclass from people that have bought it, who are in the process of taking it and are really enjoying it. I've posted one of these on LinkedIn. But make it more manageable because, my next course that I'm going to be working on is mindset. And when you make that decision for that goal, you think, holy moly, how am I going to achieve this? Well, when you do it one time, all right, it becomes easier the next time. So when Max broke through and he was successful in that one cold call that he made, it invigorated him to try again and to repeat the process again. And it doesn't seem so daunting and so overwhelming when you get it done one time, when you do it one time. All right. So then what you need to do is break down the unknowns. All right. So, research or seek resources to better understand whatever area it is that you're avoiding. And the example I gave is if you're avoiding cold calling, then take a course like my course or read about cold calling. As you can see behind me, those aren't all my books, by the way. I'm still in the process of unpacking, and those aren't all my books on my bookshelf. I still have I think 3 boxes outside of books that I have to unload. I'm a big advocate of reading, but here's the thing. Reading isn't the same as working with a coach or taking a cold calling course. It's just one resource you can use to educate yourself. But there's a vast number of other ways that you can educate yourself. I'm a little bit of a nerd. So when I get a book to read, I also buy the audio under Audible on Amazon, and I listen to it on Audible and read at the same time. For me, the experience is I comprehend much more by listening and reading at the same time. That's just something I prefer to do. You may not, but I do. I love doing that. But use all your resources. Just because you read a book on cold calling, just don't stop there. Take a course on cold calling, get coaching on cold calling. So my current clients that I'm working with right now, they have the cold calling course too, because we're working together in tandem with the course and the coaching. I had 15 people from my email list. I only had 15 spots, so that's why I only offered 15 free coaching sessions for the cold calling course if they bought the cold calling course from my newsletter pre-sale. And I was so thrilled to see that 15 people took advantage of that. I was sorry that the others that bought later couldn't be a part of that, but at least 15 people get a free coaching session along with the cold calling course, which, it helps solidify the information that you're learning. All right. So start small. Break your big tasks into smaller, more manageable steps. Now, for my clients that hate reading, I always recommend commit to reading one chapter a day. That's it. Break it down into smaller steps. Just read one chapter a day. One of the things that I always do is I look at how many pages are in the book, and then I divide up how many days it will take if I read, 10 pages a day or one chapter a day or whatever it is, because I got to have those deadlines in my head or written down, or guess what? I'll never get it done. I'll never finish that book. I'll set it aside. And I bet you're the same way too. Okay. So use tools to create focus. Set priorities. All right. Now, as I have said many times, I use the full focus planner. Yes, it is a old fashioned where you write it down, you check mark it off, you put your goals in here. I love this because there is actual research that shows when you write it down, not type it up digitally, when you write it down, there's an eye-hand connection that you will remember whatever it is that you're writing down. There's a stronger possibility you will remember it and make it happen. That's why writing down goals is so powerful, and using a planner is so powerful. So the next thing you want to do is, figure out what tools you're going to use, then set priorities. Okay. So during my day, I have items A, B, and C. A is the highest priority. I have to do it. Then comes B, and then comes C. Some tasks that I have that are C level may transfer over to the next day, but I try not to let those stack up, because that snowball effect. I don't want to come to the end of the week and go, oh, good grief, I got 10 things that I got to do that I didn't do. So I try to minimize that. And then what I love to do is time blocking. Now, if you've ever taken any of Tony Robbins' courses, he calls it chunking. So you're chunking time. So let's say that you want to chunk 4 hours tomorrow to do cold calling. So you block out 4 hours on your schedule. Now, during that cold calling 4 hours, you may also need to do research. You may also need to open up your CRM and go through the list of who you need to call and who you need to follow up on. That's all a part of the time blocking. Okay. And this way, you're not avoiding accountability, you're creating accountability. I hope that makes sense. And then, of course, reframe the mindset. So, one of the things I worked on with Max is, and Janine, who was my client from years ago that had trouble doing presentations in front of a group of people. One of the tools that I use for mindset is shift your focus. Shift your focus away from the fear into being curious and into a curiosity mode. I wonder what would happen if I cold call this client and see what happens. I'm curious if this presentation that I do, how many questions I can get during the presentation. I'm curious how many questions I can draw out of the group. I'm curious that when I meet that client face to face, I'm just curious about him as a person and how many other vendors he's met with this week. And, that's got to be stressful on him to meet with so many vendors. Just shift it away from you towards the audience you're presenting to, the prospect you're calling on the phone, or the client that you're meeting face to face. Shift away from you and towards curiosity. What are you curious about when you're meeting with them? Let's say that, you're, oh shoot, I lost my train of thought. Maybe it'll pop up later. All right. And then the other thing I talk about quite a bit is you got to celebrate your small wins. So acknowledge every step forward, no matter how small, and that helps build momentum. Celebrate the small wins. I talk all the time about keeping a success journal. If you made one cold call today, make that a success in your success journal. That is a small success. It's a small win. You did what you said you were going to do. That's a small win. Okay? Now, why keep a success journal? Because later down the road, when you get stuck, you can go back to that success journal and relive all these little small wins that you've had, the big wins that you've had, how you broke through, some of the breakthroughs that you had that you didn't think you'd be able to accomplish, but you did. That will help remind you of what an awesome sales professional you really are. Sometimes we forget. So that's why success journals are so good to keep. All right, now let's talk about take action through accountability. So, as I told Max, he needed to find a therapist. He had me as his coach to guide him in order to help him not slip back into old ways of thinking or old patterns of behavior. My goal was to help him to move forward, and avoid these tendencies and avoid these past behaviors, and to keep him on track. And you should find a coach. I'm not suggesting me. There's lots of coaches out there, but I am the best coach, by the way. And I have all kinds of testimonies to show you that. But a coach can help guide you, help keep you on track, help you think in a fresh new way that maybe you haven't thought about. So find a coach or a mentor, someone that's gone before you, all right, that can help guide you. Partners with peers. So work along someone else that maybe tackling similar challenges as you to help stay motivated. Caution about this though. So partners with peers, what I've seen sometimes is it turns into a negative Nelly bitch session where, you're exchanging everything you hate about your boss, everything you hate about your job, everything you hate about your clients. So that's not the point of partnering with peers. So you have to be very conscious of not going down that road because nothing good happens with that. Okay. And then the next thing you're going to do is you got to face the discomfort. You got to do it. As I told Max, I know this is going to be hard, but you've got to face it. And because if you don't face it, 5 years from now, you're going to be in the very same place. I'm here to help you every step of the way, but I can't do it for you. And that's the most frustrating thing about coaching for me is sometimes I want it more than the salesperson wants it. And I have to step back. I can't do it for you. You got to do it yourself. I'm here to help pick you up when you fall and help remind you of, yes, you do have what it takes in order to face this, address it, and move forward. And this helps build resilience. All you have to do is that one breakthrough, and now you have broken your belief barrier, and anything is possible now. Build that resilience. Okay, so start addressing the small areas of avoidance first to build resilience. All right, it's just like going to the gym. If you don't continue to strength train 3 days a week, and if you only do it once a week, in a month, you're not going to be any further along. So you've got to continue to work towards building those muscles, whether it's here or here, to build the resilience. So lean into the discomfort, lean into it. You've got to understand that discomfort is only temporary. You will survive, and it's the only way you can grow and move forward. You've got to lean into the discomfort or you will never grow and move forward. All right. So reflect and adjust. All right. Track your progress, as I've said. Keep a journal of what you've tackled and how it felt afterwards. All right. At the end of each day, I write something in here about my day. What I did right, what I did wrong. I'm real clear with myself, and I don't give myself any slack at all. What did I do right? What did I do wrong? So at the end of each day, do that for your own progress. All right. Then refine your strategies. If something isn't working, adapt and try new approaches. Now, I will give you a caveat on that one. When I mean if something isn't working, I don't mean that you've called a prospect 3 times and they haven't returned your call and now give up. No, that's not what I'm talking about. Let's say that you've decided that you're going to meet your end of the year goal, sales goal. And let's say you're a month and a half behind and you know that you really need to step it up. All right. So at the end of the week, next week, if your strategy isn't working and you haven't landed any more sales, you need to come up with a new strategy. I don't mean that you're going to stop cold calling. You're going to stop following up on the phone. You're going to stop seeing prospects, but maybe you need to look at the prospects in your CRM and figure out who are the ones that you can close within the next 30 days. All right, maybe that's the new strategy. Or who are the ones early in their year that didn't buy that you may want to revisit now? That's what I mean by a strategy, refining a strategy. Okay. Now, as I said, if you're not moving forward, if you're not making yourself uncomfortable and feeling the discomfort, you are never going to move forward. You're never going to grow. That's probably the biggest avoidance I see is people start telling themselves stories that it's okay to stay where they are. No, it's not, because once you're stuck and you're fine with being stuck, unless you get real with yourself and you're willing to feel discomfort, you're going to stay exactly where you are. And nothing good is going to happen if you stay right where you are. Okay. If you need coaching on this, I can give you a free consultation because I'd be happy to help you in a free consultation. If you need to learn more about cold calling, I want to highly recommend my cold calling masterclass. I know I keep pushing it, but it is really good. I have to admit, it really is good. Over 40 lessons. It's over 40 lessons long. So, I will see you next Tuesday. I'm hoping Tina will be feeling better. She couldn't be on tonight because she texted me yesterday. She was really sick. So I'm hoping Tina Achtermeyer, she will teach us how to be authentic, how to attract authentic connections and be an authentic connections. And hopefully that will be either next Tuesday or Thursday is Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving next Thursday, everyone. So there won't be a Savvy Sales Lady live next Thursday. I forgot all about that. I have a friend coming down for Thanksgiving, so I'm looking forward to that. All right. I don't know if I'm going to use this platform again, but I'll see you Tuesday for sure. And remember, stay savvy. Bye-bye, everyone.